Hello again. Edwina Murphy-Droomer is my name, and I'm here to welcome you to this episode that is all in an interview series that is all about inspiring and empowering a league of extraordinary mothers. We together are on a quest to add a little extra to the ordinary by unlocking your passion, compassion, humour, and style. Today's beautiful guest is Amanda Daley. Amanda is a leading business mentor for health coaches worldwide, renowned for her marketing expertise with over 20 years of experience. Amanda has earned recognition by the world's top advertising awards and has built her own 7-figure coaching business in under 5 years. Today, we are diving into why having the right mentor is a game changer. Welcome, Amanda, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, my absolute pleasure. I'm so excited.
For those in our audience that haven't had the pleasure of meeting you yet, I'd love you to just take a minute to let us know how you came to be doing the work that you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I am a business mentor now for wellness entrepreneurs, and it's been a bit of a intertwined journey. I worked in online marketing, online advertising for my whole career, and I loved it. I loved marketing. I loved creativity, but my body wasn't keeping up. It really wasn't for a number of years, and so I found myself going to work, working hard to make money, to then sneak off at 5 o'clock to go to the kinesiologist, the naturopath, the yoga teacher, and then it became me training to be the energy teacher and training to do the yoga teaching. And I started having kind of like really what felt like a very split life kind of 8-9 years ago. You had to kind of hide these things that you were into. It really felt like that, at the time. And that's where I got to. All of a sudden, someone told me about a health coaching certification. I was like, could I really? I'd never, ever considered the identity of working for myself, to be honest. But I don't know, it was really calling me, and I, for good or for bad, took the leap, left my job. I'm going to be a health coach, and that's what I did. It wasn't easy by any means in that first little while. Working for yourself was a big shock. I felt like I was 10 again. Like, where's all my skills gone? It doesn't matter. Like, I was winning international awards and advertising, and I could market Coca-Cola or any big brand like that. But for myself, like, I became so insecure and so, unconfident. So there became the journey of learning how to do an online business, learning that the link between me and how I had to show up and what that meant. And I did that as a health coach for a couple of years. Everyone was just asking me, can't you mentor me in business? I think it was becoming the trendy thing. For a long time, I refused, flat refused. I thought business was the devil, and I don't want to be part of teaching people that because I blamed it for my burnout. But one thing led to another, and I really feel like it was all parts of me kind of came together. Like, oh, you mean, at that time, I think it was 15 years background in online marketing and business. Like, oh, I could bring that and help people with health. And all I ever wanted was to help women reach their fullest potential and see what was possible. So so locked in, and here I am.
I think it couldn't be a more perfect conversation for exactly what's going on in the world right now. I know a lot of my audience, actually audiences across the globe now, are suddenly sitting at home wondering what life is going to look like. And I think it's changing. There's no question that a lot of things are suddenly going to end up needing to be virtual, or we have this prime opportunity now to start creating these online businesses. So it would be lovely to talk to you. I know that you talk about mentorship a lot, and I know that that was the piece that made a significant difference in me creating an online business. I spent a lot of time Googling it and having all these kind of courses, but without the mentorship and somebody to actually talk it through, nothing took off. So you do a lot of mentoring now. Can you talk to us what it looks like to have a mentor and what the difference makes for people?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was like you know, Googling everything. I had best friends who were top health coaches, top, you know, online businesses. I thought I was doing the same as them. Nothing was working.
Yeah.
Started buying the $1,000, the $2,000, you know, like e-courses. Nothing was working. And I was smart, you know, as far as
Yeah.
marketing goes.
Yeah.
And this was my experience too. And so a couple of layers where I see mentorship comes in. One, first of all, we all have a self-identity. We all believe we are one way. And even if we start doing a course and something, we still believe we're over here, you know, like,
Yeah.
and so what I found, first of all, is mentorship, often someone believing in me and seeing me. I tell them I want to go here and they see me there from you know, day one.
Yeah.
In fact, I remember a friend, fellow coach, we were in a course together, one of my best mentors, and she said, it's like she looks at you and thinks you're more successful than you are. That's what my friend said to me. And I was like, well, what's wrong with that? Like, that's where we're aligning to. And it gave me that confidence, having someone else, I guess, holding the light, holding the, you know, the bar. So there's that.
Yeah.
Secondly, I believe in mentorship so much. Like, I do have an e-course. I haven't sold it for 3 years. And every time I go to, like, including the times we're in right now, I just can't yet, you know, I'm not saying never, because to me, that stuff just doesn't work. The info is online if you want to Google it.
Yeah.
But we are so complex as humans. And the way I see it was always taught, it's like we've got a beautiful diamond inside and everything works perfectly when that diamond is clean and shiny.
Yeah.
We're human, we've layered up gunk, and that gunk is beliefs, mindsets, fears, guilt, shame, like all the range of stuff.
Yeah.
And I do find, you know, even in my practical business work of helping health coaches get clients, that 90% of that work needs to be that being a mentor to people and helping them with the honest, loving mirror. Like, you can only go so far before we have to hit the conversation of, you've got all the information now. Why are you not showing up? What's really going on? And we can break through that stuff. I think we need to be in the right presence of someone, like a really good mentor that resonates with us, to do that, to feel safe. And yeah, I mean, largely, like, I don't know, sometimes you're actually buying the mentorship from someone or paying someone, I think, to align with their beliefs and their values and their identity. It's not that you want to be them, and a mentor doesn't always have to be someone who has done what you want to do. But there's just a real human, energetic thing that comes with someone being there and holding you to that journey you want to go to.
You speak my language so clearly. I'm going to love this conversation. And I think even when we look at children, and we're all children, and we were all children, we can remember, when somebody looks at you with that sense of seeing the possibility in you and lifts you up with, of course you can do it, that kind of energy. Let's troubleshoot, let's work out how this is going to happen, is a very, very different experience to somebody that only sees the things that you're getting wrong or feeds the stories of not good enough. And sadly, we can surround ourselves with people that continue to feed that not good enough message, or it's not possible message, or why would you try message. So changing who we surround ourselves with, so that we have people in our lives that are saying, of course you can, let's work out how together.
Yes, absolutely.
It makes a difference to every human on the planet. I don't think anyone can disagree with that. So I'm intrigued how you define the difference between a mentor and a coach. I think in Australia, I've got a lot of clients in the States and a big tribe in the States, and they talk about coaches a lot, but it's really kind of a new thing in Australia unless you're an athlete. So what is your distinction between a mentor and a coach?
I want to give a distinction, and I can. And at the same time, I think the world that we're in now, where people do just give themselves a name of a mentor versus a coach versus whatever, it kind of is insignificant, as far as it's more important you working out what you want and seeing if it's a match, if that makes sense. But of course, I think when I think of a coach, I do think of, come to this typical sports model. The person doesn't necessarily have to even be good at that skill. A golfing coach is not necessarily good at that skill, but a good coach knows how to identify and see in people, where to go. Strategy to start with, definitely strategy, so they have knowledge. But then they're watching that person they're coaching with things that they can't see for themselves. And sometimes that might be, oh, you don't see, like in sport, you don't see that your arm is tilted like this every time you do it. Same in teaching business. It can be like, oh, you say you're asking people to work with you, but actually, did you ask? That's one of the things I catch all the time. So to me, a coach doesn't have to have done it, but they are there to guide you. And it brings the energy for me, coaching, to like quite practical, like quite step by step. There's no scientific definition. It's my feeling into the difference of the two.
Yeah.
And a coach, especially because I say I mentor health coaches, and sometimes, I don't know, I feel like I'm a mentor. I don't know the definition there, but coaches, like health coaches, for example, I spend a lot of time with them, helping them. They're not meant to be a teacher. They're not meant to be a doctor. They're not meant to tell you, this is the vitamin you've got to take right now. This is the magical, you got to be vegan, you got to be keto, no, a health coach is there to be with the individual client and help them find what's true for them. We've got billions of people in the world, billions of different immune systems, billions of different medicine that we all might need. And that medicine might be for you one day that you need to go sit by yourself in the corner, and the next day it might be that you need to go out with friends. Like, that's not even food. That's about being really present with someone, really truly hearing them. And more often than not, a coach is not giving answers or guidance. A coach is helping the client elicit what's true for them inside.
Yes, absolutely. So for somebody that is considering looking for a coach, first of all, is it just business, or do you work with people in different areas? And when looking for a mentor or a coach, what are the ways that you would encourage people to, what are the processes that you would encourage people to go through to find the right person for them? Excuse my dog's barking in the background.
Right. Look, I definitely don't think that coaching is only for business. There's definitely a mindset. I haven't seen it actually as bad in the last year or two, but there used to be a lot of mindset that only business coaches can make money, and other people, and it's just not true. And I think we've seen a big shift already. I think we're in the midst of a big shift where people are starting to realize, I've got to take care of my health. I've got to take care of my mind, the way I think, my anxiety, like all those pieces. And this is where coaching comes in. I truly believe we're evolving as humans, and that we actually need guidance on how to look after ourselves and how to, do that. So coaching to me is across the board, and we all need coaching on different things. And how you find the right mentor. What I personally do when I'm wanting to improve anything in life is basically like, what's the gap? So where am I right now? Where do I want to be? So I don't necessarily hire a coach for this. I hire a coach for the gap. What's the gap that I need right now? So that's my, first tip. Like, I mentor people obviously in wellness, and, getting clients is the gap. Yes, they want to make money and they want to do this, but they want to know how to market, and they want to know how to get clients. I work with, established business owners. They might be in the health space who want to go online, like we're talking about now. Well, their gap is not how to run a business or even necessarily make money, but it's how to market online, what systems to use. So you've got to know your gap before just going to a business coach or even a health coach or a mindset coach or anything like that. After that, like I alluded before to, there's a lot of coaches out there now, and it's got kind of messy on what that terminology even is. And, I've definitely seen, being in the industry, a lot of people point the finger, at like, oh, overnight coaches and people aren't qualified and all of that. But those people only survive if they're fed by clients who, in my opinion, don't do their due diligence, right, on research. So some steps when looking for a client: first, identify your gap. Don't have someone else tell you what you need. And then secondly, testimonials. And don't just look for, have they got 2-3 testimonials? Do your research on the testimonials. Look deeper, read, are there a variation of testimonials? Really look, has the mentor or coach had experience. Now, I'm not saying they have to, but for example, there's a big difference in my business coaching if I've been in online marketing 20 years to someone who's done a online business school kind of thing and regurgitated. Does that make one better or worse? No, I'm just saying ask the questions and see, is that important to you? And then same with, you know, what I mentioned before, I personally don't think that it works without, not very far, without the inner work, the mindset, beliefs and values. Now, I would recommend interviewing who you're going to be mentored on, you know, for their beliefs and values. And again, you know, if that's not important to you, that's fine, but at least ask the questions and then see if it's important to you.
Yeah.
And then just ask the questions, I think, you know, obviously anything where you've got referrals from other people, etc. But the only reason I kind of put a word of caution there is what your friend needed might not be your gap. So you do have to come back and get really clear on what you need, be in your power and what you need, and look for the mentor, as opposed to, having someone else or a Facebook ad or something like that telling you what you need. Otherwise, we're just bouncing around. You know, one day I need a Facebook ads course. Now I need the mindset course. Now, like, what's true for you? Start there.
Yeah.
Your research, and then I guess, you know, trust yourself, because of course you've also got to do the work. No mentor is a magic bullet. You're the one who's going to have to resonate and want to show up and do it.
Yeah. I would love to elaborate on the mindset, because, you know, in the work that I've done, I don't think that any of it works without the mindset. It is the foundation to everything, whether we want to lose weight, get fitter, build a business, declutter our house. None of it happens unless we have the right story running in our head. Is that a fair call?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I invested in a high-end mastermind earlier this year to turn my business, to add an evergreen aspect. So to give you context, I've run this exact business as is on a launch model, which means we sell the product twice a year, since 2014. So we've done, I think, 12 large launches in a number of months. I know how to launch. I also know how to do evergreen. And I have invested in that many courses, even like high-end masterminds over that time, to try and get the evergreen. And it always kind of works and doesn't really, and then we're back to launch because we got to make the money, and it's, you know, like a launch roller coaster. So when I was considering joining this new group and mentor earlier this year, I had everybody around me saying, what are you doing? Like, this is the old pattern. This is, you know, like, you're one of the most established in the world at knowing how to do online funnels and evergreen. You know your product. You don't need it rewritten. Why would you spend that money? It was a significant amount of money. And it kept being a yes to me. And again, like, trusting yourself. At first I didn't know why. And then I realized what it was. And this mentor is also a colleague and a peer of mine, so I know her quite well. There's nothing in her mind that doesn't believe that evergreen works. Her whole embodiment is, I know she's not an overnight person just, you know, touting evergreen funnels. I've known her for years and she's living it. She's breathing it. In fact, I didn't work with her a number of years ago because she only believes in it for low-end products, and mine's a high-end product. But she's done the work since. And honestly, I was buying her mindset. I want to be in her energy every single week. I want to be in a group of women who are doing it, which they are, even amidst this, you know, like, environment right now. That's what I bought. And I don't think many people would make their buying decision based on that, but and so far I've got so much more out of it, even if I never go evergreen. Like, the things I've got out are amazing. So I
think that touches on something that we were talking about before I actually hit record. And that is, you know, at the moment, there is a sense of, you know, feeling slight reluctance to be charging people for things because there is so much financial instability going on in the world at the moment. But I do have this really strongly held belief that we don't value things unless we invest in them. And so I know that I've got a couple of coaches that I invest significantly in, and without them, you know, part of that is performance and part of that is business. without them, I certainly wouldn't be where I am now. And I know that for my clients, the same story is true. So for the people listening that are feeling really anxious about what's going on for them financially, but know that there's an amazing opportunity right now to pivot and to do something different, what would you say to them?
I'm like, I want to say, you're not going to like my answer, but maybe you. I come back to the mentorship thing.
Yeah.
And this is what I've been saying to my clients the last couple of weeks. Right now, I actually don't care about your business with love.
Yeah.
What I care about is you.
Yeah.
And everyone listening. Like, you got to take care of you first.
Yeah.
And this is exactly why I'm saying the inner work is so, so important. And we are being called into that stronger right now.
Yeah.
So first, 101, I'm not encouraging, just go out and like milk the market or whatever. Get you grounded, get yourself feeling safe. From that place, if you are able to do that in this environment, you are a massive asset. You are like the biggest asset to people. And like, for example, have I been 100% on and whatever? No, like we're all, I'm sure you've been the same, like we've all had our waves of anxiety out of nowhere or whatever that might be. But see, for me, I can't really get on camera and be a coach without being in highest integrity. It's like I've trained my nervous system to know, like when you're on, there's nothing else in the world. When you're able to offer that during this time, I don't mind. That doesn't have to be coaching. It can be any business, any service. First of all, you are just, when we come to the mentorship conversation, energetic conversation, you are gold. You are gold, and people are looking for that, and also trusting universal law that if you are able to be of service to that, you will receive to receive. It's a gift for others. Is that going to be money right now? I don't know. It's not really the point. It's about, I'm seeing so many of my clients lean into service more than ever.
Yeah.
As long as they're grounded and taking care of themselves, what they are doing are things that they probably should have been doing in their business all along.
Yeah.
Getting out, they're marketing every day because they're believing that people want it, which maybe sometimes we get into these fears. I feel like right now is this big, massive magnifying glass on how we were operating in business before, whether or not you're new to online business, pivoting, whatever, there is massive opportunity out there right now. I think the story I gave you before was, one of my clients, she's a health coach, got a little guilty because a lady was on the phone with her saying, I've just lost my whole event marketing business. All the money's gone, everything. My client's like, oh God, I shouldn't be selling. And the lady turned around and said, I'm so happy I finally got time to work with you. Sign me up on your best package.
Yeah.
So I always say, like, you shouldn't have your hands in someone else's wallet. Yeah. And some people are so actually desperate. You gave me an example of someone like desperate for support right now. That doesn't mean you have to be giving stuff away for free. You've got to look after your energy, your boundaries, etc. But there are people who want this. And yes, we'll all keep navigating. Right now, I've got friends selling $10,000 courses who are tenfold their normal sales in the last couple of weeks. And is that the case for everyone? No, of course. I realize that some industries are going down and whatever, but there are opportunities and there are massive opportunities, and never to come from a competitive angle, but from for those of you who are ready for the motivation. Some people right now just want blanketing up and some want the motivation. There's going to be a lot more people online soon when they start realizing that it's actually, people used to think entrepreneurship was risky, but now they're realizing having a job is just as risky. And actually, I quite like working at home. And actually, I quite like not commuting. And actually, while I'm sitting at my desk doing my job at home, I'm starting to do this. So there's going to be a lot more people in this space in the coming years. And there's also going to be a lot more people wanting services like coaching and online. We're going to get used to all these online doctor consults and people delivering to our home. That's already happened. So if you're feeling up for it, now is the time to start getting online, building your business. Now, for some of you, if you really, you got to check your own integrity on, for me, what I'm doing is getting everything lined up, but it's got to be 100% yes before I hit go. So I've got all the creative ideas and everything, and I got to check that I'm 100%. And then I've got to also check, does everything feel in alignment right now, and be ready to pivot at any moment. So I'd be in it if you can. And then if you don't feel comfortable selling, there's so much behind the scenes in a business, systems and setting stuff up strongly that who normally has time to do, right? Your filing systems, your client payment forms, all those kind of things. There's so much you can be doing now, ready for when things do spring back.
And there's a lot of opportunity now. I was listening to somebody this morning that was talking about where's it's social disconnection but virtual connection. It's a time when really virtually we're doing this, and I know I've got a couple of girlfriends that we're just putting together some ideas to have our like happy hour on a Friday night together via Zoom, so we can all still catch up and chat and see each other. So being part of communities, part of groups, part of masterminds, part of something where you're actually seeing other people is it's a golden opportunity to be doing that now, and finding communities where people are talking about possibilities, about hope, about what we can do, about the silver linings. That is I think that's the opportunity that I would encourage people to be really looking for.
Who you're surrounding yourself at this time to start with is so important. All the ladies in my masterminds have been saying that. So many stories of like husbands, telling them like, well, you're just living in a bubble, like, it's all doom and gloom and it's all this. And, they're in tears on the call saying, thank you for bringing the light. And anyone here can be creating that. You don't have to be in business, it's like we do. And I just find it really interesting because I think the last year or so, there was a lot of feeling like the online world and internet was getting a bit tired. People were a bit tired of social media. And all the predictions were that everything was going to go back offline. But what we've actually seen, or, that you'd need your in-person events and all that, what we're seeing right now is a beautiful recalibration of all those values that we thought only came offline back online. And of course, we're in a transition as you and I speak today, and I'm sure we'll see hopefully things even out, even if we're all at home. But it's just so beautiful to see people using the online platforms more connected, whether it's in business, like I say, that they're more connected to service and more people are more wanting to learn online. People are more, but all the connection pieces, it just feels like the heart's really come back into it, but through online, which is, I think, backwards to what we all probably thought needed to happen to get those values back.
Hopefully the shift that we will see is less of the mindless scrolling, because I know that I've had to really be very intentional with that, because mindless scrolling at the moment is just down a rabbit hole of fear and not such great content. But being very clear on where you want to be focusing and the groups that you get yourself into, what they're talking about, so that much more mindful online I think it's
all of our responsibility to be creating content that is contributing to the different energy there. And, it's not ignoring what's fact. And, one of my mentors always taught me there's yin and yang, good and bad and everything. So if there's more quote unquote bad right now, there needs to be more good. There is more good if we look for it as well. They are both. It's not one. I'm not being like, Pollyanna over here either. But I think it's our responsibility. We're not being salesy or whatever, but it's our responsibility to put positivity out and keep feeding other people in our community with our contribution. And I'm with you right now. I'm hardly looking at social media, and I know that that's across the board, but that will bounce back, I think, when we take a peek and we see some freshness coming through. Not because none of us want the doom and gloom. We're noticing what it's doing to us more than ever.
I always say to my clients, what you focus on expands. So if you're looking for all the things to be scared about, you're going to find them. And right now you're going to find them really easily. Whereas if you're looking for all the things to get excited about and for the silver linings, they're there. They're there. So that's where we get to focus. So amazingly, it's so easy to eat through the time in these interviews, and this has been beautiful. I do love to ask each of the speakers that I have on here about style. We've certainly looked at passion. I think we've touched on that compassion, that we get to either dive into a bigger adventure or wrap ourselves in a blanket, and both of those are okay right now. Maybe even at the same time. The other thing, I love to talk about the style. And I think more now than ever, if we're spending a lot more time at home and perhaps not even needing to leave the house during the day, I know for myself the importance of taking the time to actually get dressed. It shifts my energy and the way that I show up and do things, even if it's, even if it's just in the daily activities that we're doing at home. But, I would love to hear what your style is and how you give yourself a little lift starting the day, if it's a favorite piece of jewelry or a way of dressing. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, look, I'm pretty minimalist in my style. I mean, I live in the Gold Coast, just Bondi before this. I'm very much at home in the beach comfort.
Yeah.
But that way, it's always kind of like casual glamour, if you like, for me. So I'm pretty much, it is a bit like a uniform. I've always got like my denim shorts on, in winter it's jeans, and then like a white or a grey t-shirt. But when I want to lift, I've got my favorite t-shirts, like, because this won't even say, the upside, right? So I kind of feel the energy from this one's going to make me fun, and even if it's a bit spotty. And I always, what I value the most is my jewelry. I have a lot of beautiful necklaces. In fact, I did have to ask my husband to stop buying me so many necklaces. It sounds like a really weird thing to say, but he knows it's my love for necklaces, but I started getting quite a lot. And funny enough, one's just come out. It's a beautiful Tiffany one, which is a smile. And it's been actually sitting in the cupboard for a couple of years, which sounds terrible. But all of a sudden, it's like the energy of that is what I want to be wearing right now. So those little pieces, this one's a lotus, which is actually, I bought it for myself. It was a real commitment to living to me and my truth when something really dropped in for me about a year ago. And I bought it to take on travels with me, and this one's often one I wear. So I'm kind of that mix of casual and relaxed at home, but I'm like you, I've actually been putting makeup on more the last couple of weeks and making sure that I've got my jewelry, just the little things that give you that kind of pep. So that's my style, bit of mix of casual and glamour.
It just came to me that there was another question that I really wanted to ask you. And, where right now our health more than ever is, I think gets to be a focus, and how we can lay that foundation to be looking after our health. So what are your top kind of go-to health tips at the moment? What are you doing to look after your health?
What a great question. Thank you for asking. I mean, obviously I'm so passionate about mentoring health coaches, and one way that I see them go wrong is they're trying to be doctors, or they're trying to work out the right diet or the right whatever. And the way that I guide my community back is, to me, health coaching is about mastering the basics.
Yes.
And I know, again, you started today's call with, but we can Google things. Why do we need a mentor? So this is a beautiful loop. I know that we all know what to do. But I've always said, like, I want myself or my clients, if they are sick, to be able to turn up to the doctor and look them in the eye and say, I can tell you my specific things, but, I truly am relaxed in my nervous system. I truly eat X amount of veggies a day, like a lot of vegetables. I am hydrated. I am doing basic movement every day. I sleep soundly and I wake up feeling good. I have tools to release stress when it comes in my life. Nothing here is medical. Nothing here is dangerous to advise. And that really has been, I've been through quite a health journey again in the last year. And a lot of that was my commitment to deep breathing each morning, fresh air each morning, walking, more vegetables. And I'm not by any means pretending. My own health journey, there was another thing that, an integrative doctor helped with, but 90% of it was mastering the basics. And for the most part, I am a big believer in prevention. It's the same as cure. So I'm not, especially in the times we're in, of course, I'm aware of other things. I'm going to layer into that, like energy medicine and vibration, which all of those things contribute to anyway, but we can also, whatever makes us feel good, our clothing adds to how we feel. Who we surround ourselves, how we're feeding our mental state, what we're looking at online, all of those pieces are contributing to our energy
Yep.
and our health. So that's where I come from. That's what I'm practicing. I got my vitamin C. I mean, you know, and my water. And more than ever, when we are feeling maybe a little unsettled, it can be so easy to go, I'll just have some chocolate then.
Yeah.
I mean, who hasn't binged on the snacks they bought, you know, like that kind of thing. And I'm really watching that more consciously. And I think hopefully a lot of us are right now, respecting our bodies more than ever.
Yeah. I love that, because it's all stuff that we can control. You know, there's an overwhelming sense of things out there that we can't control right now. And everything that you've talked about is stuff that we can control. There is no shortage of veggies that I've seen. We are still able to get out and go for a walk and get sun on our skin and breathe fresh air. We're still able to move, even if it's just going for a walk or watching yoga on YouTube and stretching. We're still able to sleep. We might need a bit more support in getting more restful sleep if anxiety and fear are playing factors, but all these things are within our control. And I'm such a fan of being really focused on all these things, because it really is the foundation for our health.
And I get the trauma of things, you know, there. One thing I've witnessed in the last few weeks, I was feeling a bit achy and I didn't know, like, was it a sore neck or what if it's an ache? You know, I'm sure we're all doing that. And normally I might go get acupuncture or chiropractic or something like that, but we're encouraged to stay home. And what I've really noticed is if you just stop.
Oh, I know.
And actually, which is so much easier said than done for most of us who are used to, you just stop and actually lie down and read a fiction book for an hour or listen to some beautiful music. I don't know that we need as much external support as we maybe think. So,
I've just downloaded, and I'm just going to go blank, Glennon Doyle's new book, what's it called?
I screenshot it from people reading it so many times in the last week, but I can't think of the name.
It's gone blank. But she talks, and I'm really enjoying it. It's on Audible, and she talks about how she taught herself to go in and to see that, you know, to utilize that stillness and work out who she was and tap back into her intuition by shutting herself in a cupboard. And just having no distractions. And I think there's a lot of us that would have to go to that extreme, because we're so hardwired for stimulus. We can, you know, we find it very hard to be still. But this is a golden opportunity to find a space, a quiet space. And just, you know, even if the first time is for 3 minutes or 1 minute or 5 minutes, just to find that stillness and learn how to be still again. If we got one thing out of what's going on at the moment, I think that would be a really golden win.
Totally. I mentioned mentorship, you know, to me it's a lot about the inner work and it can be trauma. One thing that I know is that we don't like to slow down often because we have to feel what's there. And I just really strongly just felt to add that for anyone, like slowing down can bring emotion up, but it's just emotion. It will actually pass and it actually releases when we allow it to be there. So that can be super confronting and scary. But it's actually kind of the medicine.
And we're supposed to feel. We're not supposed to be, you know, disconnected from our feelings. We're supposed to feel the whole range of, you know, I think this is a big thing that we've all got very caught up in. We all have to be happy all the time. We all have to be positive, and we all have to, but we have a whole range of emotions and we actually get to feel all of those. So being still is the gateway.
Not easy, but we will all practice it right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I know that you have a gorgeous gift for our audience. Could you take a minute to tell them what that is?
We've actually put a couple of goodies together on our page for you. So, and I made a page just for your audience. So it's amandajdaley.com/extraordinary.
Yep.
So yeah, you can pop over there. We've got a couple of different guides and ebooks and things there for you to enjoy.
That is so generous. Thank you so much for being here. I've loved this conversation, and I don't doubt that the women tuning in, it's all those light bulb moments. But I always love to just come back to it's so easy to take in more knowledge, more information, more inspiration, but the magic happens in taking action. So make sure you dive over to Amanda's lovely free gift and just pull out one thing and actually take action on it, because that's where the gold starts to happen. Thanks so much for being with us, Amanda.
So grateful I could contribute. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Another fabulous interview in this series, and I think a conversation that is particularly important right now, and that is mentorship, and being able to tune into the voices of people that are going to lift you up and bring you back to a place of possibility and hope and forward momentum. It is a time where we are potentially in danger of getting caught up in fearful conversations and becoming really stagnant in our lives. So wherever mentorship gets to happen for you in your life, I would encourage you strongly to look for it. Certainly dive into the gifts that Amanda has left for you. I'm dying to go and check them out myself. But as far as mentorship goes, that is something that I obviously do for women every day, day in and day out, and it is my passion. So I am here for you in whatever capacity that needs to be. Leave a comment however you are watching this video. There will be a place for you to leave a comment and contribute to the conversation that is so necessary for we mums to stay connected and to support each other throughout this time. If you are listening to this on the podcast, feel free to shoot me an email, edwina@edwinamd.com. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. It is so easy to find and connect with people right now. So that is my invitation to you. I am here and I love to support. Wishing everybody a gorgeous day ahead, and get out, get some fresh air, get some sun on your skin, go for a walk, and practice social distancing, but virtual connection. All right, until our next interview, much love and bye for now.